Okay, cool. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Face the Truth. It's been a couple weeks actually since my last podcast. I've normally been doing this once a week, but as some of you know, I went to the ISKE convention a couple weeks ago. Had a really good time. A much needed. Yeah, we went. Had a much needed getaway, which was awesome. And ever since, I've been playing catch up on deadlines and all that sort of stuff. Also, I do have a guest next week, but then I'm taking a week off because I'm opening up, doing stand-up comedy in a big club in Chicago. So I need to focus on that so I don't go crazy. And then it's Christmas holiday, so basically, I think my next episode after Christmas is going to be with oil painter David Kassan, who's just an amazing artist. Next week's going to be with Peter Chan, another amazing oil painter. So anyways, it's been a great year. It's been 1 year of me doing this podcast. I've gotten to talk with tons of amazing, awesome artists and musicians and actors, comedians, and so on. And so I'm just grateful for everyone's support. And let's just keep doing it because I think it's a great thing to be able to talk to artists, inspire people, hear people's stories, and the occasional fart joke here and there. But I just, it's been good for me. I've learned a lot myself just from talking to artists, and it's been really encouraging also just hearing from people what they think about it and everything. So I thank you for that. And now to introduce this awesome artist here, we did meet in Memphis a couple weeks ago at the ISKE convention. It was awesome. I wish we could have had more time to hang out, but hey, we were both busy. Got to meet his beautiful wife. This guy is an awesome artist. I got to watch him work on a couple pieces. He's super fast. It's really freaky. We're going to get into it. Super, super cool guy. Very friendly. And so without further ado, everyone please welcome Valentin Chibrit.
Oh, you got it just right, man. Even with a little bit of, vampire accent and everything. You just felt Romania right there. Thanks for having me, mister.
You're welcome. And this reminds me, I've never done this before, but I'm going to start off this podcast with something I've never done before, which is Joe Bloom's favorite part of my podcast, which is Serious Questions with Jason Seiler. So we're going to start with that right away. My serious question is this. What do you think about garlic? What do you think about garlic? What do you think about crosses? And do you sleep in a coffin, my friend? Because you live in Romania. Your name is Valentin Chibrit. And I just can't help. You also look like a vampire version of my friend Corey Chisel.
Yeah.
So what's going on here, my friend? Is there something we don't know? Let's get into it right away. Because I think maybe there's something. You got that sinister eyebrow going. You got that. Look at that. Look at that hairline. Look at that hairline, everybody.
The pointy thing and everything. Yeah, you see it. You got me.
So what do you think about garlic, my friend?
Oh, I love it. Haven't died like only 6-7 times yet, so it's good. It's working. Just tonight we had Christmas holidays on the street, and I had some meat with garlic sauce and everything. So, apparently it works for me.
So I guess
found the cure and the secret.
So I guess that solves the question. You are not a vampire, and that's this week's Serious Questions with Jason Seiler.
Serious.
Hey, by the way, you're holding that microphone, and you sound like a DJ. You're all like. So if you want
to... apparently I'm touching something. Yeah. How about now?
Much better.
All right.
DJ Valentin is awesome, but we can do that later. But anyways, hey man, thanks so much for doing this. This is awesome. You know what? It's been a very busy week, a couple weeks for me, and this is refreshing to be able to talk with an artist because I haven't been able to hang out with anybody for a while. So I'm so excited to talk to you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, man, this is always great. After the ISKA experience, I know what it is to have a meeting with artists, how motivational it is, how motivating, how inspiring, how energizing.
Yep.
I even had I didn't have the time to absorb it in just right because when we got off the plane, orders or
Yep.
commissions were waiting for us, man. December is crazy, and this is the craziest ever for us.
That's good though.
So I'm trying to cover that. We're trying to record for a television show. We're invited in. So yeah,
Oh, sweet.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and hopefully, what we do right now is gonna touch other destinies. This is the plan, and Ruxi can do it. Yeah, and
Oh,
I'm there just to energize the situation.
that's great. So
Mm.
how was your overall experience coming to the US and going to the ISKA and everything?
Well, this is my second time coming to the US. Second time meaning like I had four contracts from 2009 to 2011 working on cruise ships. I absolutely loved the United States. Always wanted to come back. And when Manny called us and told us that we're going to be guests of honor there, and when I saw what just happened, man, it filled me for a half a year from now. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
that's good, man.
yeah.
I'm so glad I decided to come. I haven't been there since 2015, I think.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
oh,
and every
yeah.
year I feel bummed out. I think that's my fourth or fifth time going, but I I'm hoping I'm planning on going next year because I
Yeah,
had so much fun this year. But it just depends on timing and all that stuff. But
dude, I was looking at the photos previous years on Facebook, whatever you guys posted. I mean, the ISKA convention, and yeah, jealousy crept in, and then thinking that I would never have the opportunity when it came, I took it all in. I opened my eyes. I took mental snapshots of everything. I'm gonna develop them in January when things will cool down a little bit, but still, man. What names have I found? What people? What humans? Right? And the energy there.
oh
Oof,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's the
Foo.
great thing about it is what I like about it is every time I've gone, like I said, I hadn't been there since 2015.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Bloom is probably one of my best buddies.
Mm.
So we talk
Oh,
all the time. Oh, it's okay. We talk all
yeah.
the time. Sometimes weekly. So
Sorry for all that.
oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
So when we get together, it feels like time doesn't feel like it's really gone by, which is really strange.
Yeah.
But it's everyone else that's there, even though I haven't seen them since 2015, it just felt like it was yesterday. Everyone feels like
Yeah.
family, and it's like what's cool about it. If anybody's interested, you should definitely come to this convention. But it's just 200 to 300 artists. I don't know exactly how many. Just artists from all over the world that just passionately want to just draw and paint, and we draw and paint each other. But it just
Right.
it's a lot of it's competition, but it doesn't feel like competition. It feels more like encouragement and
Well,
supporting.
last day I felt a little bit,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, anything before that it was just amazing. Yeah, last day of
Oh,
course we're all hoping for something, and especially Ruxi and I were thinking that whatever we're gonna get in terms of prizes or I don't know distinctions, we're gonna use for the company, because
oh
we
yeah,
want this
that's
company
good.
to
That's
to,
good.
to be to be good, to be but to have awards that you can use to promote it better, to what I mean, to open
Oh yeah.
doors. Yeah,
No, for sure, that's cool. I guess I
not
don't.
ego, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's a nice
I
tool.
guess I didn't really think about. I personally I didn't really think about it too much. I'm more, it's really an honor to get an award and everything. It's really cool. But
Right.
the big thing is for me, I think when you do win an award there, why I think it's cool. Like I got an award and it was unexpected. I wasn't thinking about getting one, but what I like about it is it's like that's your peers. That's your peers who have voted for you. So you feel
Bravo.
it makes you feel like hey, they accept me. They appreciate what I did here, and that's the coolest part. And like what I was gonna say is it feels like family. Because I for me personally I kind of I've always kind of been that solo guy
Mhm.
where I didn't have very many friends. I got picked on for being an artist, and so it's like now you've got like this group that you relate with, that they get how weird you are, and it's okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you know, and it's cool too. Like for example, you and your work is, you know, I think your work is very unique. It was fun
Thanks.
watching you work because it's kind of, you know, I really appreciate painterly type work where you can really see the brushwork and everything, and it's really interesting. When I was curious because, you know, I see your technique when you're painting digitally, and you're just all over the place. You're just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of your, you've I wouldn't call it a formula, but I can see that you are like, okay, I'm gonna attack the warms, attack the cools, but you're kind of just letting things happen. You're just letting like, oh, there's a mark there, that's cool. I let that, that's nice. I'll stay, and then you build up, and it kind of looks chaotic, but at the same time, I know from painting that there is an order, there is a direction and everything. But what I was curious about was I'm about basically about your development in this style. Like, do you paint traditionally at all, and has that influenced how you attack and approach this technique digitally?
You know sometimes you're scared of the white surface before you started painting. So I used to do. I think I did everything. You know, work in clay and crayons and ink, black ink, and then watercolors and dry pastels. Everything. I had this amazing opportunity when I was just out of high school. I met this guy, this Romanian cartoonist, who took me to his academy that he was building like 700 miles away from my hometown. And the cool thing about the situation is that this guy had the means and the money to provide high quality tools. That's one thing. And then the other thing was that he got so many orders that he started sharing with his good students. You know, so he gave me a lot of business even though I was 18, and I got to use in all those techniques. But 2006 or 2007 when I found digital, man, that was me. That was me. I wanted clean because when I was sculpting, half the room, like a foot of cement and everything that was too much. And when I found this clean technique, that's just me. But of course, people are saying that they see the fact that I was using oils in the past and acrylics, and because I was scared of the white surface, I used to take a cleaning material, cloth, and I used to clean my color palette with it, and then just use it all over the white canvas and created some textures that later on they said something, gave me some clues, some new things that weren't expected that you can use to make it more fresh, you know. So this is what I'm. Apparently, I was directed to use this style where I just go from the inside. I calm myself, even though the style is quite energetic. But it's my alpha zone where I just let it flow, you know. Because I always say that you use your life as a student, because you're a student until you die, right? To learn different styles, to learn anatomy, to learn composition, and all those. If you really do it for a long time, they become reflexes, right? So then I just use it all naturally, right? To move fast, because I know some anatomy will go through, some composition will go through. They are my tools. I don't have to think about them too much right now. Of course, it wouldn't hurt, but this is what it is right now. Apparently, I'm just playing right now, you know, trying to actually find my style. I found something that resembles the idea of a style, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna go deeper.
It's definitely a style. No, it's definitely a style. What I like about it is that it's got an energy to it. It feels there's like a movement to it. And you get into the likeness really quick, which is cool. Like I tend to kind of do a lot of like kind of little doodles, or just kind of play a little bit. I mean, sometimes I go right into it, like what you were doing there, and it's very liberating to do that. And that's one thing I like about your style, is that I was watching you, and especially when you did that VIP thing, where you just jumped right into it. I'm like, wow, look how fast he is. It's crazy. You just like but there's something lifelike about it that I think is a really nice quality, and it'd be cool. I'd like to see that like happen with oils and acrylic as well, because that's just it's like such a fun way to work. I'd imagine there'd be paint everywhere.
Forget about it. I'm pretty sure what I'm doing right now, it's just sketches for my oil paintings in the future. Yeah, I'll go back to traditional because it feels different. It feels different, completely different to do oils and acrylics. So what I'm doing right now, I'm developing this technique, and then when I'm gonna get to oils, you're gonna feel this digital relaxation in those
I guess
oil paintings.
That's what I'm kind of saying is what I appreciate is like, here's the thing. I've been doing this for a long time now, and I know a lot of artists, and you can see someone's work and you're like, oh, okay, I've seen that so many times, and that's one thing that's cool about what you're doing. I really like that there is an original feeling to it. You've got, like I said, you've got that energy. You're crazy with the color, which I love. Like you're exaggerating the color. You're pushing the color. But you can tell looking at your work that you are a painter. Like, you know what I mean? Like you enjoy, basically, essentially the power of brushwork, because brushwork can be, like there's a lot of people that, a lot of people getting into caricature now or have been into it for years who they just want to, everything's got to be rendered so smooth and so tight. Which, I do that a lot as well with some of my work.
Oh, yeah. You're on my list because I have 3 lists, very short lists, like 10 people. And this is the respectful type of art where you respect caricature so much and you give it so much time, because you guys are, I'm pretty sure you get nervous, you get agitated when you do it, because you put so much patience in that art of yours. Yeah. So much time.
Well, what's funny about that is, so when I was getting started, my first idea, because I was self-taught, my first thought was, hey, if I can draw caricatures and paint them as realistic as possible and blow away art directors, like I want art directors to look at the work and go, wow, that's incredible, then for sure I'll start getting published. So that was my plan. My plan was to impress enough art directors that they would start using me, and that's what happened. But here's the thing. Then years later, I start seeing all these artists doing, like, basically working smarter and not harder. You know what I mean? Like they have like this beautiful, like kind of like what you do, like I don't do you know who Victor Huaz is? Victor Huaz. He's an amazing. He does a lot for the New Yorker and stuff.
I get it.
The guy can do like super tight, realistic.
It's with a J. The name. Yeah. Victor. It says.
Yeah. J-U. H-A-S-H-Z, I think. Victor. But he does a really awesome, like kind of sketchy, very energetic movement style, and a lot of watercolor, and it's just beautiful. So I start seeing these artists that are getting a lot of work, and their work is great, but you can tell that they're not spending, 10 hours rendering one face. So I feel like sometimes I'm stuck with this style that I've got to do, where people are wanting me. I mean, every once in a while I've gotten away with something kind of loose and sketchy and stuff, but so I think it's actually kind of cool what you're doing, because I think that, like, I could see that work being published all over the place, because you have spot on likenesses, and then as fast as I saw you work at ISKE, I'm like, holy crap, man, that's amazing to me, just because it's like, like I said, I will be doing a cover for someone and just spend like so many hours painting that thing, where I'm like, I wish I could do it like in because it's still just as impactful. Yeah, I think the style is just as impactful, and that's what I mean is sometimes I kick myself because I'm like, why did I develop a style that's hard or harder, or not just hard? It just takes more time, because it's really, my work is more about, as far as the final project is more about just, it's a lot of just rendering and values and try to be accurate with likeness and all that stuff, where, I think maybe only 2 or 3 times maybe I've gotten away with doing published work where I've gotten to do like a real expressive, sketchy thing.
Some textures, some brush strokes, right?
And that's the kind of stuff I love.
Some interpretations, because I'm
Yeah.
afraid for you, man. I'm afraid that they'll keep you in that box for a while because this is a good box. They want you there. You're doing such great details, and then you add those textures. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I appreciate that. I really do. But I think that what you're doing is exciting because it's a fun thing, I think, for me to, because your work inspires me as well. So like to see what you're doing is like, oh, that's so cool, man. You can loosen up a little bit, pull that stick out of your butt a little bit and have some fun. Um, but I mean, that's also another great thing about just like here you are. You're an artist from Romania. I'm so glad we got to meet in person. But I mean, when else in the world are two artists gonna meet from so far away, and
Right.
we both love the same kind of art, but have a completely different approach. And to me, that's what's exciting about it.
And one of the coolest things about ISKA that it takes, I mean, it doesn't finish after 1 or 2 days. It gives you an opportunity to be strange and awkward first 2, 3, 4 days, and then you get to the sense that they're good humans. They could
Yeah.
become family. They could become friends. It gives you
Of
this
course.
opportunity, man. And after you do it 2, 3 times, oh, I'm pretty sure you strong bonds with a lot of them, right there.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually just met Bernd for the first time.
Oh, okay.
I've known of him for years, but him and Stieglitz,
Oh,
I met them for the first
delicious.
time, and I just feel like, man, I feel like those are brothers for life, And like Hota, I've known Hota for years, but
Yeah.
we've never met in person. And man, I love that guy. You know what I mean? It's just you feel like family completely. Like I have a lot of brothers. That's what it feels
What are you
like.
talking about? Hota is so good. He could be
Yeah.
such a douche, and it would be all right. Because yeah, you would understand it. But
Oh
no,
no,
man,
no.
he's
First of
good
all,
people.
it
He's
wouldn't be all
good
right.
people.
It wouldn't be all right. I would have no respect for him if he was an
Yeah.
asshole.
No,
That
you would understand it if
yeah,
you were to become
that is the thing. He is such a talented guy, and he's so down to earth, and that's
Yeah.
the great thing. He's a real person.
Yeah.
And trust me, I have met a lot of artists out there, who are like artists that I have looked up to. I'm not going to
Yeah.
name names, but I'm talking big artists.
Yeah.
And I finally meet him in person, and like, wow, that guy is a total asshole.
Mm.
And I didn't like their art anymore after that. I lost complete respect. And Manny came up to me actually after 2015, and he was like, I was the guest of honor that year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was me and CF Payne, and I did like my talk, just like what you did this last year and all that kind of stuff. But then I, just like you this year, I hung out with everybody and I drew with everybody. And it was funny because Manny came up to me. He's like, man, I just want to let you know that's so cool that you did that. And I was like, what? What
Mm.
else am I supposed to do? Like
Yeah.
I'm here to hang out with you guys. But I guess apparently there's artists that, no, I'm not going to do, what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't want to hang out with everybody. And so I think it's weird for me, but I kind of look at it more in a way of being able to just, I'm an artist just like you guys, and we're all artists together, and we, you're never going to grow unless you can like humble yourself and, because we all have things we can work on,
Yeah. Oh man. Oh,
for
man.
sure. And
Yeah.
that's the thing I love about the convention is it's like a big dish of humble pie. There's so many artists out there that come to it, and they're so talented, and they've got completely different styles, and it's a great experience. Yeah, totally. I mean, but enough about ISKE. Those guys, that's a crazy, we don't need to talk about those guys anymore. No, it's amazing. It was really cool. But I want to talk more about what got you to where you are right now with your work. Like, so forgive me, but I don't know very much about Romania.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, just from your, from early on, like when you started getting into art, was it always caricature something that interested you, or was it just drawing at first and then you kind of developed into that?
Man, I consider myself really lucky. Immediately after high school, I mean, it was like the last year of high school. How do you call it? Senior year,
Yeah.
right? I got to draw funny caricatures at the back of my notebook of our teachers. And my colleagues had an amazing reaction. That was a good thing because you get, oh, I can do something that really touches people. That was the humble beginning of it, getting published in the high school, how do you call, journal. And then the following year, after I was done with high school, I met this guy. I told you he had this persona of a guy who was famous wherever he was going. He had the money and the means not to just compliment this young guy from a small town that he's got skills or he promises. He gave the materials, he gave the commissions, so you get money right away, and you're thinking, oh, okay, because during high school, I was trying to sell some paintings, some studies, some whatever, and you're thinking I could be a painter. In high school, I was studying monumental painting, church restoration. You know what that is? Monumental painting. Yes. I thought I was going to live in churches all my life. But then, college graphics, easel graphics. And then, because I met this guy and everything just flew. It was all right, man. It was right there. Just words right away. First year, many international awards. So it just stuck. I was trying to get away from it after a while, but no, it just kept coming. Because when I was trying to do painting illustrations, when I was depressed or whatever, they wouldn't have the depth, or I didn't have the freshness or the desire to do like I do when I do caricatures, because caricature for me is one of the things that I follow in life. It's freedom. You know what I mean? You look at something, you don't measure too much. Of course, you have to have some tools in your arsenal, but because it gave me the opportunity to just let it go and let it flow, it was me. So something that it's you, it's going to stick. It's going to stay with you. You can't get away
It's
from
kind of like jazz, right? Caricature.
It feels like that. It really feels
it's
like
that. once you figure out all the notes and you've got the different rhythms, it's like ta 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 ta. But what if I want to go beep ba da boom? You can just kind of
you can do that when you're older or you gather more. This should be everybody's dream to be able to perform in many styles. And whatever the character asks in terms of colors or in terms of brush strokes, you should be able to adjust a little bit so you get some of their persona in your brush strokes and color scheme. Right now, they're all me in terms of colors, so explosives. But apparently, they're not all explosive characters, So I put a lot of me, but in times I should train to expand my palette of abilities in terms of styles and color gamma, right?
I totally agree with you, but what I'm saying is like I think there's a freedom in caricature because, like for example, I do a lot of realistic portrait work, which I enjoy. I've been doing a lot more of that, and it takes care of my family, the bills, and everything. Which that's cool, and I love to paint. Like right now, I'm doing something for Time, and it's a huge honor. And it's very realistic type stuff. But what I'm thankful for is I actually, I've done a lot of stuff for them before that's super, super tight. And this time I was like, I'm going to make it look realistic, but would you care if I'm a little bit more painterly with it, where I'm a little bit more expressive? And then I've been sending them my stages, my steps, and they're like, oh, we like that. That's great. So I'm like, oh, like it makes me feel happy to come to work every day because sometimes doing portraits gets a little bit tiring. It feels like doing math or something sometimes. But what I mean about jazz with caricature is that caricature is what I really love to do. That's what I feel. I feel that's my real art. That's my real voice. Because when I do caricature of somebody, that's me actually exploring that person and like showing people versions of how I see them, and I feel more connected, and I feel like it means more to me than a portrait, where a portrait's like, hey, I got to capture the character and I got to paint it well, but I want to take it somewhere else, and that's what caricature allows me to do. That's what I mean about jazz is like I can feel the notes, but I want to do something different with those notes. I want to squeeze them differently,
Yeah. Well, one of my philosophies is that by contrast, you make something appear smaller or bigger in a caricature. A lot of contrast. It's the same thing with life, man. Because you get to do a lot of commissions or things that you do for your family or things to support your art. By contrast, when you get to do caricatures, you feel even better. You know what I mean? Because another example would be if I give you right now a cup of warm tea. It will be cool. It'll be all right, if it is well made. But if I give you a cup of tea in the forest where you just walk through snow all day and you just wanted that hot cup of,
Yeah.
by contrast. So I had to, wow, I had to work a lot with myself to accept the fact that I have to do some commissions, because I have something against authority. So every sign of authority, meaning a person that says, "Oh, could you do this for?" Nah, I mean your style is cool, but could you? I'm gonna adjust now. I accept the fact that I have to please the world. I have to give back to the world a little bit in terms of if I can do it, I have to do it a little bit. Don't just be yourself in the studio all the time. Adjust to the world, and by contrast, you'll be happier when you have 100% freedom to do a movie star or somebody like a personal project. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. It's
Sorry.
It's all right. That's really a great point, and that's really the reality of what it is actually to make. Like for me, I'm just grateful that I get to make a living as an artist. And it's funny, I do find myself complaining sometimes, like are feeling drained. Sometimes you just feel like drained because it's like, man, I don't feel like I'm doing my work. I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm making a living as an artist. But I feel like, like sometimes you get on like Facebook or Instagram or something, and you see artists like posting. There's like I don't really post very much personal stuff, hardly ever. But then again, what am I complaining about? I sound like a hypocrite because what I do post is usually commission work, and that's good because that's taking care of my family. But so I totally have that. I fight with myself with the same exact thing. It's one of those things though. Just the fact that we get to do it in general is an amazing thing. Because I mean, I could be digging ditches or something like that.
So yeah, I know for a lot less money.
Yeah. No, trust me.
Away from family, away from scenarios of life. So we have a good scenario. I have to keep telling myself
and I mean,
that.
even though I'm in, I do the stuff I do, dude. Trust me, man. I have ups and downs, man. Like, I'm 1 minute I might be doing, a nice huge commission for someone, and then it could be weeks and weeks and weeks before something else comes in, and I'm like, should I get a job at Starbucks or something? Like, what should I do here? So it's I think a lot of times, especially with social media and everything, I think a lot of people just they just see the nice pictures all the time, like, oh, those people are just they have the most perfect life, and it's like, nah, not really, no, But really, ultimately, I think it's the thing that keeps us going. I'm assuming that you agree with this, is that just and again, this is one of the things I loved about going to ISKE and hanging out with my friends and meeting you and Hota and everybody, is just the joy. You can feel the energy of the joy of just the fact that we are just there creating. And how great is that a bunch of us are together just creating, and you can't beat that, man. It's like if you could capture that energy, you could be a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That if you could just open a can and just
I can only dream that one day I can create an environment like that in Romania. I mean, I don't know if you remember or if you saw my speech over there. The first word, the first menu order on the menu was the fact that I love the intercontinental exchange programs, meaning the Caricaturama Showdown page or whatever those other good pages are, where you just do the same characters and the different styles, and then you see, oh, I could have done the nose smaller, and you can adjust your style. You can steal some ideas. You can borrow whatever, because it's not getting lost if you take it too. That exchange and those professional compliments that you don't get, because you send your work. It could be judged by somebody who understands a little bit. Somebody understands a little bit about art or textures or stuff like that. But with artists, you can trust at ISKE that you'll find some good compliments that you will believe, that will motivate you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because you get compliments from good artists, some amazing artists, so it sticks more than a compliment from a customer.
The other thing that's cool about these things too is, like Manny, for example. The first time I met him in person was in 2015, and I'm really impressed with like his live stuff. That's I see him post that all year round and everything.
Yeah.
But the first time I met him in 2015, he did this epic piece where he did everybody in the
I know
whole
it.
place,
I
and
saw it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just, and I was like, damn, that's amazing, man. Um, and I think that year I created an award for ISKE. It's I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like basically group. It's like a group award where situational or something like that, body situation
Uh-huh.
or something. And
Uh-huh.
I gave it to him that year, which was like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
but
yeah.
then but then I haven't been to a convention since, but I've been seeing what he's done every year, and this is a guy that just pushes and pushes and pushes. And then like last year I saw him do the weird like 3D
Oh
type
yeah.
thing that
VR.
he did, which was
Yeah.
like VR thing. And then this year he did a whole new thing which I was not expecting. He just did a completely different, like, hey, I'm just gonna do like these acrylic paintings, and he did like
Sketches. Yeah, yeah.
tons of them, and he
Yep.
filled up the wall, and they were all excellent. And
But how
he,
about the fact that he had his wife and children with him?
oh,
Okay, how
exactly,
about the fact that he was part of the board? How about,
yeah,
I mean,
he's
he
crazy,
had to
dude.
juggle with so many strong attention capturing stuff, so he had to
Oh yeah,
juggle those, and he
and
did an
exactly,
amazing job.
and that's what I'm saying is, to be honest, his wall was probably my favorite wall in the entire
Mm.
thing.
Yeah.
It blew me away just because I've been watching his progress, and I love his exaggeration, his technique. But the dude is like a capsule of energy, and just he's got like a peace about him, and maybe it's got to do with the mushrooms or something. I don't know, Manny. I know you're listening to this, you fucking weirdo. But no, I love the guy so much. But that was one thing for me this last year that was really really cool to see, was just what he pumped out. And there's so
Yeah.
many, dude. There's so many, like what Stieglitz did, and dude, like Burned. I mean, everybody. What Joe did.
Yeah.
Like it's inspiring, and I totally.
I remember. I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
because
it's all right.
it's a good introduction here. I used to work for Caricaturama, those challenges, right, for 2 years, and I was trying to please people by drawing, looking at your style, trying to draw some hair, some detailed eyes, and maybe some textures on the skin and stuff like that. I was trying to please to get the votes. Well,
Mm.
at one point, by accident, whatever, I just found a brush, one brush. They called it the God brush when I found it. It was called the God brush, and
The
that thing,
God brush.
God brush. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. You can check it a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
simple, but if it matches you, if it suits you, it should be enough sometimes. And with that in combo with the fact that I was doing so many weeks at Caricaturama, and then I had to just forget about the BS. Just let it go. Don't try to please. Okay, you've won a few weeks. Okay, that's enough, man. Do you? And then when I calm down, and this goes to Manny as well. He manages to disconnect a little bit from the world, to connect with something. And I know a few artists who are connected with that something. So from that position, you get good interpretations, you get a good understanding beyond the likeness in terms of outer contour of a face.
Yeah.
That's something.
Mhm.
You're watching a person, you're watching the world, and you realize why by posture, by colors, by I don't know, sharp or curved lines, you understand the person deeper than just trying to copy the elements of a face. You know what I mean? So there are a few artists in this world who I feel they are connected, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
when I was with Manny in Nashville, I just realized that I found the one artist who I consider the best in the world. I'm gonna said his name. I'm gonna say his name at the end of this. Yeah. So who covers the idea of being connected, capturing that something beyond the physical appearance, being creative in terms of shapes, crazy and happy about what you're doing, because happiness also transpires in the work, right? I remember when I was in college and I was painting, I had the same feeling I had this convention. People coming to me and say, "Man, oh, after seeing how you work, I now I have to do it. I have to do it, man. You energize me." So when you see that you can have this type of impact, you realize that it's more than the appearances in terms of our meetings. Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
help each other, we motivate each other. We even the creativity level. I'm gonna be honest with you. This year, because it was a good year in terms of commissions, I didn't do a lot of personal projects. So I was super scared of this invitation to be a guest speaker and then to do that demonstration. But after 2 days in that environment, boom, it cracked, so I could do the live demo.
Oh, that's good.
that environment, man. So I want to carry that and recreate it around the world, or start with Romania, but it has to be with the help of Ruxi, because she's a manifester, because not a lot of people can stay put for 3 years, stay focused, even though I was trying to be a whole artist with her and say, no, I don't want to do that. This feels like it's offending for me and my, and I was giving her a lot of bullshit, man. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. But that,
No, trust me.
she's so stable, and she's gonna use that in the business. And now we have this opportunity to appear in a TV show that's supposedly gonna help us get some investments in terms of money. So with that, we're gonna use it to influence more destinies than just her promoting me and finding the best way to expose my art and my thing. Yeah. So yeah.
No, that's great. That's a really good. Well, for sure, it's definitely a good goal and everything. But also, speaking of your wife, I mean, it's I can relate 100%. I mean, it's like my wife is an artist, and it's crazy because she doesn't get to do her art hardly at all now, because we have a 2-year-old and she's pregnant with another one. So,
congrats on that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like a lot of times I feel very guilty because like I try to make time for her, like to try to do stuff. I got her the new iPad with the pen, so she could try to like do some painting on that.
Exactly.
So, but I it's like I always feel bad because I'm like so excited about the art, trying to push the art. But I mean, I'm the one that's like I got to try to keep the boat floating and everything. But but we could never do it without the people that support us. That's for sure. I mean, it's it's one of those things where it takes everybody. Like they say, it takes a village, right? To raise a kid. I think it takes a universe to help an artist get somewhere, because I think we all are dependent on people and
it has to be connections. It has to be luck when you're meeting somebody, when you're invited somewhere, and that creates new opportunities and new branches, stuff like that, man. It's not just about what you do and being alone in your workshop and your studio. That's not gonna do it, apparently, because this world is big. We are a lot of people on this planet, so you can get lost even though you might be good. That's not gonna do it,
Oh yeah.
When I was this was my dissertation after finishing college. It was called Caricature, a Major Art, even in Romania. This was the title, right? One of the major arts, because I saw the environment being poor, being a little bit dry in terms of portrait artists, because not too many. And I've seen some who are just, I don't know, engineers who are trying to do portraits, and because they didn't do it right, they call them caricatures. And you see that it's dry, it's empty, right? We have a few now. So we have a good base to start from, and then we're gonna start some scouting. We're gonna, in colleges, right? We're gonna start a school, and with all that, we're gonna try to expand the concept that art caricature has many layers in terms of first you get the likeness, and it's cool, and if it is a cool interpretation, you can get the laugh. But then you have anatomy, you have colors, you have composition, you have concept, you have ideas and stuff like that you can squeeze in there. And even the deeper level that I'm not going to get into right now, but it can get deep, You get a lot of ha-ha, but it can get artistic, really artistic caricature, no? Right?
Like I said, that was pretty funny. You can kind of get a little ha-ha here and there. That brings something up I was thinking about too, is like, I don't know if you notice this or not. I mean, it's weird because you came to the United States to a caricature convention, and basically all the caricature artists in the United States that give a crap about this were pretty much there, right? There's a few that aren't, but most of them are. And the reason I'm saying that is I've noticed I've been lucky enough to be able to go to Europe a few times now, to do workshops or different things. And to me, it seems like Europe is way more accepting of the art of caricature, and way more excited about it or moved by it, perhaps. Where I feel like the United States feels like, kind of like a, gosh, like just an uptight, old Baptist lady or something. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it seems like there's more freedom in Europe for the expressiveness of that art form, where a lot of times in the United States it feels like people kind of look down on it. Or
but this is the craziest thing. I was watching caricature done in the United States, and I was amazed of the freedom in terms of interpretations and people trying to push the shapes, right? Especially at fairs and live stuff.
But are you talking about the artists at the convention?
I saw some of the convention, but also a lot of
other places.
People, okay. I mean, a lot of art done at the fairs, and it was super cool, super artistic, and super interpreted and crazy. And said, "Oh, I could never sell more than a cookie cutter caricature, in Romania." So I said, the American market understands better. I said it. But then I saw what happens with Mad Magazine and stuff like that, and I saw some of your statements in terms of people telling you that you should, slow down in terms of the interpretation, right?
As far as publication,
right?
Goes,
you have a lot of limitations. Because you said it with the Trump situation, when you were hoping that you finally get your opportunity to be an artist and interpret and go crazy, and then whoa. No, not with this guy. You're not gonna stop it right now because this is me. This is my time.
Oh,
but no.
Dude,
it's got a little bit, right?
You know what it's like. It's like not having sex your entire life, and you finally are gonna get married, and you're finally gonna have that moment, and then you get married, and it's like, guess what? No sex. You're like, what?
I have a different sexual preference, man.
That's what it's like. So frustrating, and it's so like, what's happening? But I mean, I don't know. Like, what I've been to, like just different places, like even like in England or, Ireland. Like I went to Ireland.
Oh, those live gig artists. Come on now.
Yeah, I went to Ireland and started sketching in a pub. Yeah. And all of a sudden the whole place was going nuts. I'm like, oh my gosh, and they loved it. They're so excited. I'm like, I've never experienced that before. If I go to a bar here in Chicago and start sketching people, they're gonna be like, what's wrong? Like, get a life, dude. Like, I mean, maybe it's Chicago, I don't know, but all I'm saying is I've always felt like, and for example, a lot of my students that I've had throughout the years are all from Europe, all excited about caricature. When I look at the Caricaturama entries, it seems like a lot of them are from Europe. And I've always just felt like there's more acceptance or excitement about caricature. Same with Brazil, like a lot of South Americans, a lot of where I think Americans are a little bit uptight when it comes to, just the idea, like you tell people, like there's been times, for example, where, when I first started dating my wife, first of all, I'm covered in tattoos. I was going through divorce.
You were covered in tattoos when you met her?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I was going through divorce at the time, and so she's introducing me to her family. And here's my boyfriend. He's going through divorce. He's got 2 daughters. He's covered in tattoos. What does he do? Oh, he draws caricatures. They're like, what a weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, and then eventually they find out, oh no, he's actually professional and does this and that, whatever. But still, so I've gotten that a lot, where it's like you tell people what you do or what you like to do, and they're kind of like, oh, okay. But I don't know. I've like when I've been to Europe and I've gone out, with my friends that I've met there, and we go to dinner or something, and people ask, oh, what's this for? Oh, we all do caricature, and the people are like, oh, that's great, that's so cool, and they want to see it and they feel excited. That's just a feeling I've gotten, which made me want to.
This is nice. We borrow these feelings whenever we come to the States, and then we borrow and we exchange these feelings. This is pretty cool.
And this is why I like to do this podcast, man. We get to talk with all kinds of people. But you know what? I do have it. We're like 49 minutes in. I have some artwork to show you. But before we do that, I've got a question from a fan. So I want to play that for you. And this is from Waleed. Shihab.
Okay.
And he actually sent a video, but you're not going to be able to see the video, but I'll just play the audio for you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do this real quick here. Let me know if you hear this.
Hey Jason, hey Mr. Valentine, my name is Walid Shihab. I'm a caricature artist from Lebanon. I'm really familiar with Valentine work from Caricaturama Showdown. He won a couple of entries. Really astonishing work. At first glance, you will be like, wow, different colors, different strokes, different brushes, contrast, joyful. When you look at it, it's really fun. It looks careless and someone like doodling around, but it's not. I tried it, it's very hard. It looks at first glance like that, but it's not at all. My question would be, how do you pick your color palette? Do you have a certain strategy in coloring, a guide to work on, or do you color randomly and go with the flow? Hope you like my drawing of you. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Okay, cool. So yeah. He did the drawings. We'll see that in a bit, but.
Mm-hmm. So Mr. Walid Shihab from Lebanon.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that is one of the questions I get. The main questions, right? How do you choose a color palette? As I said, I'm going to repeat it again, even though sometimes I don't know if it gets offending. It comes to me, you know. I don't think too much. I mean, I even go as far as without knowing what character I'm going to draw, I'm going to open Art Rage. That's another graphics application program. And in Art Rage, I'm going to loosen up my hand by doing some textures, some colors. I don't care about anatomy. I don't care about anything. Just let it go, let it flow, right? And that image, after it gets generated, I keep it in order to lay it on top of the drawing that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to apply some filters. And the mixture between the two, I'll look for spots and places where they mix nicely, you know. This was one of the lessons I received in high school from our paintings teacher. He did this as an exercise, and it was pretty cool. It was obviously eccentric at the time. He dropped the trash bin on the floor, and his invitation in terms of painting. He said, "Okay, this is your job today. You look at this trash. The theory says it's trash, so it shouldn't be good. But no, look for good segments where you see some nice colors meeting, some nice shadows, some nice volumes. Look for beauty even in trash, right?" And that was a.
I like that. I don't know if That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I don't know if we did all right that day, but you see, some things just stick with you, and apparently it next to what I study in life in terms of being like water, let it go. This is what I do with colors as well. You know, I have that layer of colors that I did in Art Rage, and I'm going to use that, even though maybe it's not connected to the drawing I'm doing. But those meetings, those accidents, I try to isolate from that meeting, from those juxtapunctions or whatever. When two colors are on top of each other, they create new situation that you wouldn't be able to do naturally, because you don't want to put that green in the eye or that blue or that purple. You don't want to. But with that layer of colors, if it's good, I'm going to isolate it, delete the rest. But that's a job of accepting some happenings, because usually this is the theory of life. Two events meet, and then if it is something good, it's going to stick in the DNA or something, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm following the path of nature. Just accidents or coincidences or synchronicity, I'm trying to follow that path, you know. And in time, it's gonna get more refined, you know, in terms of I know who I'm gonna draw. So even though I get an Art Rage with the feeling that I'm gonna do something completely unrelated, I'm gonna be influenced by the person. I'm gonna use if it is a person with dark or high contrast kind of attitude, I will know subconsciously, and whatever colors spontaneously go on that first layer is going to have a good connection with that person, you know. So that meeting is not going to be completely accidental, you know, but that comes with time. this style will mature. You know what I mean?
I also think that what that does, and you can see that with your work, is it creates like a little bit of an energy, like there's like a vibration between the colors and textures and sort of a thing. Do you know who Aaliyah Chapin is, or Chapin? You can check her out. She was on one of my first podcasts, like I think with like 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know.
How will you spell it?
Her last name is Chapin. Aaliyah. It's Aleah. Aaliyah Chapin. I think it's Chapin. Anyway, she's an amazing painter. I love her work so much. But she said something very similar, and it really inspired me when she said this. Where she will, like oftentimes when I'm working in oils, I'll mix my color and everything, and I put it down, and it's not right. It's off slightly. And what she said is she kind of will leave that there, and just and she doesn't like try to wipe it away or paint it. She'll just leave it there, and then she just keeps painting, and the next one might not be 100% either, but what it does is it kind of starts to create this energy and this movement, and ultimately when you pull back from everything kind of pulls together, and your eye makes it work. And it's hard to explain unless you actually do it, unless you're actually a painter. But just listening to when she was saying that inspired me a lot, and I actually. Like I was working on an oil commission at the time, and I just, like you said, I just let it go, let it go. But I did that. And I could feel that energy, and I could see it within the work. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like and I started doing that even with my digital work as well.
The base is realistic, but then you see the otherworldly influences where she's been traveling throughout life. She's
dude. Oh, you're looking at her work now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, her work is. When you see it,
brushstrokes complement whatever the concept is, but the concept is there. The feeling is there.
You see her work in person.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, her work is awesome, man. Like she's what's really cool about it is like you see it from a distance and it's very realistic, but when you get up, you can just see just thick brush strokes. It's like, yeah, it's awesome, man. So she's an amazing artist. But yeah, definitely check out that episode when she's on, because she's an inspiring person, man. And it's so amazing because she's like the smallest little person, and she does these huge paintings. Like her paintings are like 20 feet wide by 12 feet tall, and like it's crazy, man. She's incredible. But anyways, I have some fan art to show you, and I know that at the ISKE convention you got drawn quite a bit. So this is going to be a little bit more, maybe this is going to feel like a little add-on to the convention for you. But so let me share my screen and let me know if you see this. And do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, no.
You don't see it? Oh, you do see it. Okay. So this first.
ISKE.
This is ISKE. Yeah, this is by Patrick Harrington.
Yeah, man.
And supposedly that's supposed to be me as a baby that you're kicking into the pit. It's really sad image.
Yeah, but I know truth can be upsetting sometimes, Another guy who did muscles and pectorals. I need to take my clothes off for once so people don't dream that I'm big. I mean, in a good. No, I'm not. Come on, man. That's cute, but
so
not.
Funny.
This is ISKE.
I look like Gollum.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Such a happy piece.
Yeah. Very,
positive
very happy.
And everything.
This is the one by Jared Hobson.
Yeah, I recognize his style immediately. I complimented him during the speech because I see him going places, and I see him going even further. He's not the type who sits still, He's going to go places.
Always pushing himself. Yeah.
And I can feel the love, and it's obviously there. And whenever you feel that, it's beyond the,
Yeah, he's hardworking, and he's always pushing. Like even what he did with his wall this year was completely different than what he did any other times. Like I think that's pretty inspiring. Like taking chances and pushing yourself that way. It's awesome. See, here's. Are you familiar? This is by Ray Shipman, by the way.
Okay.
Shipman, not Shitman. I think I said that a little bit quick. Ray Shipman. Are you familiar by any chance with my friend Corey Chisel? He's a musician.
Oh, okay. No, not really.
You
No.
should look him up
Okay.
sometime. But anyways, you guys, you look kind of like you could be his brother. Like you're a little bit bigger than he is, but you look like his like kind of like his protector brother or something. But like this image here looks like my friend on steroids or something.
But he looks like me as well. This is a
Very
good
similar.
Image. This is a
Yeah,
good
look him
image.
up.
Please tell me his name again. Corey, like
Corey.
double R.
Corey Cory Chisel.
Cori. Y or
Y.
Y? Corey.
Yeah, like why me?
Okay, that's Corey.
And then Chisel Chisel. So I think you'll like his music. He's really good. But I see some similarities between you guys.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe because you know his personality and we met. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
combination. Yeah. Good.
So this one here is by Waleed Shihab, the one that asked the question.
Our friend. Yeah. Yeah, man. I can see the respect. I can see the love of the for the arts. That's good.
It's got some nice shapes.
Good shapes. Yeah, good shapes.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I see with this is I really like the shapes a lot. It sort of reminds me a little bit of Sam Viviano.
Man, you mentioned this another time when you said so much caricature is being made. Much caricature. It's hard to create something that's interesting, so exciting a little bit in terms of shapes and interpretation, but the volumes and But this is a very good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's so many, it's crazy, and especially now that there's like the access to social media now. Like before that, like the only ones that you were seeing were the ones that were really making it.
Yeah.
But now it's like everybody can post. So now it's like there's so much, and that's a great thing. You get to see so much more art. Good and bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is by Jason Williams. It's nice.
Good work. Very good work. And he got that something that I know about myself. He's got that something. Yeah.
Yeah. This looks like. I know something you don't know.
Well, it's almost religious, yeah. So yeah, I can see my holiness.
Yeah. Nice.
Roxy, the lovely. She's in my head. She's playing with my colors.
Yeah.
That is such a good inspired work, man. That is so good and positive and everything. Who did this?
This is Dominic Zeilinger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Do you know who that is?
in Vienna, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. He's. I like that he's always like his style is all over the place. He does so many different things, and he's always very smart about his designs. He always does something very clever.
Yep.
Very clever. This Dominic Zeilinger. Or my nickname for him is the trickster.
Yeah, because you look at his face, and then you're thinking, oh, he's a kind and peaceful and doesn't have surprises, but he's there. He is there. Oh man, this work is beautiful, and I can see the love again. This is good. Oh, thank you, Dominique. Thank you.
You see the love.
What?
You see the love here?
the last frame of my speech. Big titties on the screen.
This is by Steve Norris.
Who was there, right? At the convention, right?
So wait, I missed that. So your last thing at the convention, your last line at your speech was big titties?
Yep.
So why was that?
Because it was the kindest of the four titles for my because I split the menu of the speech in 4 categories, and you don't want to know the other 3 names. This was because the other 3 it had the text. It was dirty and juicy and everything. So I had to add some curves and some words to make them innocent. But with this one, when I was trying to modify it, but I said, no, this is positive. This is not bad. This is not hurting anyone, right? This is our roots. This is this is good. This is always good. Forget about it. Yeah? So this was the last frame of the speech, and the guy just
that's
froze that one. Okay, forget about it.
Forget about it. So Big
Oh,
Titties was the cleanest of the
yeah.
titles.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, you got me curious now, man, because yeah.
You don't want to
Dude,
know.
people thought my stand-up was offensive. Look at this.
No. I had the C word, I had the F word, I had the A word, I had the W word, I had everything in there.
Yeah,
When-
it's all language.
When I'm nervous,
That's all it is.
I'm nervous. Yeah. It's
all it
enriched language. That's it.
It's all it is. People put value on it, and they let these things hurt their feelings or offend them, and they need to just grow up a little bit. That's what I think they need to do.
Well, I knew I was gonna take a chance and a risk because United States. I watched some stand-up comedians declaring that sometimes they refuse college gigs. You
Yeah.
know the reason, right? You know the reason. They people, I mean kids, get easily offended, and they stand up and they think they make a point when even though it's a thin one, but just because you have to protect everybody's feelings. And when I had the thought of introducing those words, even though I knew I'm gonna modify them on the way, so they're gonna be harmless on the way, but when those 4 words popped on the screen, I was thinking, come on, man, this is America. You don't put that on the screen, on the big wide one. But I did it. And the idea came that morning, the morning of the speech, to introduce those words. And I said to myself, should I tell Ruxie I had this idea? Nah, she's gonna say no. No, forget about it. This is just me. Okay, I'm going in. I'm going all in. Whatever happens, man. So, but people said
Man,
they
I'm
knew
bummed
that
I
I was
missed
coming. No, the recording is gonna be out. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Sometime soon, so you'll get your chance to watch the first 5 minutes, because
That's
those
hilarious.
are the. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I just feel the same thing. As you know, I've been doing like stand-up stuff, and I'm gonna try to go this Monday to a new place I'm gonna try out. But like one of the places I went to recently was it was different material than what I did at the ISKE thing. It was a whole different bit. And I got laughs the whole time, which was really good. But I also got this weird vibe that almost everybody at this club seemed like they were like college students. They were all like taking notes and stuff, and like they were kind of college age to like maybe mid-20s or so.
Yeah.
And
you got
you could
tackled?
No. Everyone laughed. I got good laughs.
Good,
But I
good.
got this vibe and feeling that like there was a couple things where I could tell that, oh, you're just like not woke, man. And like there was like this weird feeling where I'm like, you guys need to like just get a life. Like seriously, you let everything offend you. And that's the thing that's ridiculous is I almost feel like going back and just ripping them apart. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just so ridiculous.
The first sentence, I mean, in the first argument in terms of being awoke or not, is that an awakened person, spirit, knows how to accept the other being not ready, not there right now. You know. Yeah. So if you don't see acceptance, you're not awake, man. You're
exactly.
Not awake.
Exactly.
You're just right.
No, that's 100%. That's the funny thing is I got that feeling and that vibe, and then here's the other thing is, like my set did go well, but I could see some of the looks and some of the girls and you know and some of the guys.
Hey,
but
right now you're just stealing my idea. So right now this is the final frame. Me saying titties. You're not gonna change that frame.
Oh no, we're gonna change it. We're gonna change it.
All right.
We're gonna change it
because you're taking my shine right now.
Yeah.
This is what I do, man.
No, we're gonna change it. No, this is you. But the funny thing is then that night I witnessed like here's the next one for example. But that night I witnessed this is by Laurent Grossat.
Okay. French, I suppose. Laurent Grossat, I think. Let's see.
I think so. I hope so. Don't be offensive. Don't be offensive now. No, no. But here's the thing: is so that night when I was doing it, like I said, I got some laughs and everything. It felt good. I think I did well. But then I was the vibe I got was watching the other stand-ups there, and the kind of material that they were doing. I was like, wow, you guys are so sleepy. You know what I mean? Like you're not woke. You're not awake. You're like in this like weird delusion, and it's really sad. It's like you're kind of closing yourself into a box, and you know that's the thing that I feel is strange, especially with comedy right now, and even with art. You know, I think that people need to loosen up a little bit. So I like that you did that. I think that's great. I think that was really cool that you did that.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, this is our home. This was our environment. I mean, we should play. We should experiment.
I agree.
It was not a stand-up comedy club, but it was about funny people, about trying to build a family. So you have to swear a little bit. You have to accept sometimes. You know, those exercises are gonna create a stronger bond. You know, I mean, people said, and it was super cool. You know, what they said that they knew the place where I was coming from. I wasn't there to offend anybody. You know, I was there as a nervous person who added something to create some impact, to make it memorable, to make their time worthwhile. You know, by creating something that's gonna stick a little bit. You know.
No,
that was my intention. Yeah. Laurent Gossard, he is French apparently, or I don't know if it is Belgian or something, but I see French text on his page.
But this is great though. This is a really cool technique. I like it.
Yeah, it is, and I've seen what he's done in the past, and I've seen his work in the past. He's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Another good of pushing the shapes and everything too.
Yeah, same thing.
And there's a freedom with the brushwork. I don't know if he was trying to feed off of your style.
No. I see in another work as well. He uses
very cool though.
Freedom.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like there's a nice like freedom and energy here that's really cool. It's nice. And this one is by Christopher Hirschman.
Oh,
very cool.
I'm gonna look him up.
And he
American?
actually, I have no idea actually, but I think he submitted. If I'm remembering correct, I think he submitted 2. So I think he did 2 different versions of you. So
Christopher and the other
Hirschman, Hursman.
Hirschman, huh? I don't. Okay, well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the website is.
H-U-R or H?
Yep, Hursman.
Okay. But the Facebook won't let me look what I want. Okay. Let's look on Google.
But this is a nice piece, though. I really like what he did with the little weird shapes that he did throughout the whole piece. It's kind of cool, you know. It's nice to see something different like that.
Same thing. I guess it was a top layer with some texture and texturized, the realistic painting. So I feel either he was watching what I did, so he's trying to complement by adding another top layer to texturize the surface. But yeah, it is. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. It's good, and it's also, oh man, it moves the space. This work, pretty cool. Very cool.
That's awesome. And
again, respectful. Oh, okay.
And this is the same artist. This is
Christopher.
Yeah, this is another version.
All right.
It's cool. I love that. I love seeing the different approaches, you know, from the same artist. It's pretty cool. It's awesome. Cool. So let's do this really quick. Why is this not working? Hold on one second.
Yep.
Can you? Are we back?
We're back, and I want to thank those who took the time to do it. It was pretty, nice, very nice. Thank you.
So, man, I want to just thank you so much for taking the time to hang out and talk. And like I said, it was so cool to hang out, and I wish we could have hung out a little bit more when we were there. It was kind of crazy. Just the whole thing is such a crazy event. It seemed like it goes by so fast. But then when it's over, you just want to like, man, when's the next one? You know. But it was really, really great to meet you, meet your wife, and see you work. It was really cool. Um, but what's going on? You know, in the next, what's going on for you in the next foreseeable future here? Like, if you want to promote something, definitely promote your socials, your Instagram, and everything else. Let people know what's going on. But if you want to just kind of use this time to promote some stuff, let people follow
Thank
you.
you, but I will let Ruxi deal with the promotion and advertisement. I can't think of anything.
You can't think of
It's
anything?
blank, but
Well,
then nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
where can people follow you? So people can
Right now I'm
check
only
your
on
stuff out.
Facebook, and I promised
Okay.
myself I'll take care of the Instagram page, because apparently Instagram is it's working. It's more intense and it's more in
Let me
present times, right?
let me tell you this. I think Facebook's fine and everything else, but I think Instagram is way more impactful.
Active, right? And
Well,
impactful,
it's
right?
more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. Just because it's mostly images and you can write some stuff, but like, I enjoy it a lot more because you instantly see images. You can share a few, but then you can write about it and you can connect a little bit. I think it's a great tool for business and everything. So when you do have one, just let me know and I'll share for you. Try to get people
Thanks.
to follow it and
Thank you.
everything.
Oh man, thanks. Thanks for having me on this. I
Well, of
was
course, it was
watching all your
fun to
stuff,
talk,
and
man.
it's this is us helping each other and then helping this beautiful field. Because caricature, I just, I mean, a few years ago, I started realizing how impactful it is for those who are posing for us. I mean, for them, it's a serious business. They look at your eyes and you look back and they see that you trying to dig deeper if you this is your interest, and then after that, it's not just that drawing. That 5 minute sketch is more for them, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it can be a cure if you want it as a model, as a subject. It can be a cure because we live in a culture where the physical aspect is always a point in discussion. See, surgeries and food and clothing. The way you present yourself to the world is important for us. It's a culture based on how you present yourself. So caricature says, "Oh, you think you have a big nose, or or you think this is a defect? Well, let me tell you, this underbite of yours, or these dimples, or whatever." Freckles, these are beautiful, or whatever. That conversation can get you to accept some stuff, or to take you to the worst place where you just emphasize those things. And if you get on the other side with a good laugh or with a higher level of acceptance, caricature can be curing, right? Can be a good cure for the fear of how you look, how
Yeah.
you're seen in the world, you know. And I especially like those times where people are coming to you, because with commissions, friends are sending photos and they say, "Oh, can you be a little bit?" Because I don't know. I mean, we think she has a good sense of humor, but so that's when somebody's creating a gift for somebody else. That's a situation. But at weddings or private parties where we draw, they are coming to us. So that's always nice to notice that it's a line and it's they go to the drawing at the table and you see the reactions. Because I'm looking. I don't just let
See,
it
that's
being
yeah.
a draw that I just did and I forget about it. I connect with the reaction, and I take a little bit of that meeting, and then I sometimes I try to give back, you know,
Yeah.
to make it impactful, make it obvious that I care about the person in front of me, you know.
So that's an interesting thing we never brought up, but so you do a lot of like live gigs is what you
Oh,
do. That's
those
what
are
you're.
actually the base of our business right now. Yeah, that's
And
actually
how
a
much
good
time do you
level.
usually spend on when you're working live?
Uh,
Because that makes sense to me too, how you're able to work as fast as you do,
mm-hmm.
because you're exercising that muscle. There's a lot, like for example, there's when I go to the convention, there's one thing that I notice is, you know, I'm more of an illustrator and
Mm-hmm.
a fine artist, and
Yeah.
I've done live caricature I did it for a little bit. I can do it. I enjoy it, but I was more like, nah, you know, I just really want to be an illustrator and a fine artist, and I just
Mm-hmm.
focused on that.
Yep.
But I've noticed, you know, like Joe, for example,
Yeah.
uh, he spent Joe Bloom is one of the best live caricaturists I've ever seen ever, and and he did it for so many years, and there's so many artists like that come to the convention where it's hard for me to relate, but when I see them there, I'm like, wow, I can see how this pays off in an environment like this, because these people are used to just working so quick, so fast, right? And they've got that training that I don't have that. I'm more of like thinking about the composition and, you know, the likeness, and I've got like a different approach to it. I don't have the you know, I do have to work fast on deadlines, but my approach is different. So it's interesting for me to see that. And so when you're doing your live stuff, are you able to kind of do the kind of the style that you were doing when you were working on the stuff at the convention, or does it have to be like way more simplified?
Yeah, it's cookie cutting. It's
cookie cutting. It's like you have to do like a formula kind of.
I accuse myself of sometimes losing the connection with the event, and that's that doesn't really count as exercise. When you don't put focus on your work, it's not gonna add up to exercise.
Because you're more focused. You have to. Do you have to like?
Numbers. It's numbers right now. Yeah, because right now this is considered a gift for as many guests as you can. And the numbers are important right now, but we're working on changing the paradigm of how people are looking at the caricature as a live gig. I mean, right now it's about numbers, but pretty soon we'll change it to you have an artist for 6 hours. It's a nice, sometimes more than 6 hours. You have a nice event happening. No matter how many people are working home with a drawing, they went with that drawing at the table, they laughed. So that drawing influenced and created more impact than you think just by numbers. So
for sure.
Let me do it in more time so I can look at the person more carefully and be more interpretative and more creative with the shapes. Right now it's about numbers. So when it's numbers, you're almost like copying the outer contour, you know. So interpretation, you don't really have time for that, or at least I become anxious when I'm at live gigs. I'm shy. I'm super shy. So even though I invite people to look into my eyes while I draw, this is me trying to
look into my eyes.
Look into my And but the bad thing is that we both become hypnotized. So I'm a little paralyzed. So I can't really interpret crazy shapes at live gigs. But I look at it this way, and this is, I hope, a good philosophy. When I was leaving college with that dissertation piece, when I said caricature could be a major art, even in Romania, I said I'm going to be a part of those who are creating the artistic environment where caricature could be in exhibits or whatever. But I thought I was going to do artistic caricature, and this is going to be it. But apparently this is not it when you're trying to influence a field, you know. Just you in your studio doing your best, that's one way. But this other way that I found together with Ruxy, where my commissions, my live gigs could support a business that can expand and then influence more artists to do whatever they want, that's helping caricature more than you being a good caricature artist. Apparently, in time, I'll find my time to do studio pieces and create great art, because I feel it. It's in me, you know. I feel it. That's all I'm gonna say right now. What I have right now, I just scratched the surface. What I feel like I could see in people, you know, in terms of shapes, to the level where you can give up a lot of things in terms of anatomy and still get that person. That's gonna be, because I feel I have the eye, but that's gonna come with maturity, with the not being the one who supports financially the house. You know what I mean? It's gonna come. Right now, we're building the business. I'm taking my time. I let the events come. This is gonna grow to the point where I'm gonna have my time, my studio time, and like 100% my studio time. You know.
Yeah.
So right now I'm helping, but in terms of building this business that's gonna influence artists, because one of the things that we're trying to do with this business is, bless you. It's scouting for artists with something to say. That's going to be our main target, not just students for us to find and then send them to live gigs to make money. No. That's going to be a segment, but the most important segment is finding those who maybe don't have the skills to promote themselves, don't have the skills to create a financial, independence, right? Because this is a paradigm. An artist cannot live a good life financially. It's because they don't know the price of their work. They don't know how to sell it. They don't know where to sell it to whom, or how to to create a stable marketing environment. But this is going to be covered when we are going to be big.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that. We'll take care of them to the point where they're still hungry for growth. Because we'll have talks like we had at ISKE. That was super good, man. We had philosophy. Even the Joe Bloom situation, it was caricature can implement include that, man. We have to philosophize. We have to disagree. We have to discuss it because this is more than just us competing and being by ourselves in a table,
100%.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, discussions, stealing ideas, borrowing stuff, being motivated, being influenced, energized, stuff like that. We have to so this is going to be us trying to create an environment like that in this part of Europe. But also, it's a good thing that Ruxi invested so much attention in us being in Japan and in Vienna and then Belgium and then Spain and now the United States. We'll try to move around, meet different mentalities, because as I said, I was really jealous that U.S. customers understand interpretation like mouth fee being filled with somebody else, and then the nose covering some other person's nipples and stuff.
I have no idea what carnival or fair you went to, but that's just so funny to me because
you don't see it, huh? That's
freedom. No. It's like when I see caricature, like in the United States, it's usually cookie cutter. Just people are doing a formula thing where they just draw the same face over and over again. They'll change the hairdo and everything else. I barely ever, trust me, I go to I take my kids to Great America, where you go on rides. I do all these things, and I always walk by the caricature booths because I love it. It's my life, right? And I'm always bullshit, and I don't, the only time I see the only live caricature artists,
Chris Chua, Nate Cap, come on now. That gang.
That's what I'm about to say. The only ones that I see are like that I'm like, whoa, are the ones that are involved with ISKE. Those are the only ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Eric Goodwin,
Very good.
Kapnicki, all these different people. That's where but most of the caricatures I see in America, that's why I say like the ones that are the passionate, the ones that really want to grow and push themselves, those are the ones that end up going to the convention.
Yep.
So you're basically seeing America's caricature artists at the convention, plus the people that come from all over the world. Because I really feel like most caricatures, like I think that's what's cool about Manny and what he's doing with his crew. They're going around the country, they're touring, they're going everywhere, because I think that's going to help grow and change that whole thing. I think it's going to help change. That's what's cool about Tom and Joe doing the American Caricature documentary, is I think that it's going to help people see that it's more than just this, like, because I'm telling you, man, a lot of times when I talk to people about caricature, they're like, oh, they just think like the most cheesiest thing, but it isn't that. It's way more than that. And it can be, and it should be more than that. Whereas, and this is why I brought up the whole thing before about Europe, because when I've gone to Europe and I see stuff, even the street artists, like when I was in Italy, there are some of the cookie cutter type guys, but I've also seen people pushing things way further. I'm like, whoa, man, there's a different vibe here.
And I like that Europe tends to take the caricature to galleries. And there are caricature museums, so this is also a good step. Taking it from the fairs, because it's good to have it at fairs. It's good to have it on the street, because it's a nice immediate gift that you can give the world. This laughter and this positive vibe. Me looking at you and trying to have a visual conversation with you. But then you have to see it in the exhibits as well. So you'll know that there are levels that might be harder to understand, but they are there, So
like for me, like I'm slowly. I mean, it's taking forever to get into it because I'm just busy and everything. But one of my goals is, I want to, similar to what Hoda's doing, is more like I want to do more of my oil painting, and get that stuff into galleries. But the difference is the way I'm approaching it is I've just established myself as a well-known artist and illustrator, where I can like do this exaggerated oil paintings and stuff and have a show, and people are like, oh, this is the guy who does this for whatever magazine and everything else. You can use that. But if you're out of nowhere, people are going to be freaked out by it. But there's only a couple people like Hoda's he's got some work in Vegas, and Kruger has some work. But for the most part, you're not going to see that kind of work in galleries in the United States. Most, and even though it's better art than most art that's there, in my opinion, like the stuff that like Hoda does and that Kruger does, and like that a lot of art my artist friends do are just top. It's the top. So I think the awesome thing about it is that we're all just doing it, and we're gonna make it happen. You know, we're gonna keep pushing it. You know,
with this, I mean, this is a good century. This is a good century where we can meet. We have flights that are
it's our only one.
more accessible flights, right? So we're gonna meet. We're gonna come to Las Vegas. So the family is gonna grow and is gonna get more stable. And,
you are coming next year?
Well, 90% I'm pretty sure that I'll be there. You know, because
awesome.
you know, life is gonna give you something that if it's not a problem. Other than, you know, I don't know, we'll try to make it, you know, because we want to. Yeah. And then it's gonna be me competing with more passions that I did it this year, not because of the competition or the awards. I want to get so deep and find something deep, and that environment allows it. That environment will caress it, you know, it's gonna respect it. Yeah. Any experimentation, any search for the deeper meanings of this, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm hoping to be able to do it as well. My only thing is I'm gonna have a new baby in July, so I have to talk gonna have to talk to my wife and let him escape for a couple days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because it's not gonna be easy. Like, this year was hard enough with a 2-year-old and her being pregnant. So
you saw that people were searching for solutions, even for
it was great
for
it was
babies.
Great.
They'll find an even better solution. We'll all chip in and we'll have 1 or 2 babysitters over there all day. So even mamas, they will pay attention to the kids, but you'll also be able to escape a little bit. And as a father, you won't feel so obligated to show face, you know. So
that's what Joe and I were talking about. We were talking about getting like hiring some nannies and stuff. Like,
nannies.
We can like chill out and everything.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we don't need to keep going on about. People are gonna be like, "What are they talking about? This is so weird, man."
Babies, come on, go back to caricature, man.
Babies.
Babies are hard to draw, man. Stop talking about babies.
Anyways, I just want to thank you, man. It's so good to be able, like I said, like I've been stuck in my studio for the last couple of weeks, so it was really great just getting together and chatting with you, man. And it was great meeting you. And I can't wait to meet you again, hopefully next year in Vegas. But definitely let's keep in touch. And I thank you so much for joining me, man. It was just a fun time talking with you, man. I really appreciate your work as well.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And thanks for those watching your channel. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers, my brother.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk soon, man.